All right, we are now live on Zoom. We are on lesson 3-7 factoring review. Today's date is Tuesday, October 13th, and I need to change this back to 1.5 pen size. So 10/13, 2020. Our objective is to do what? Jade.
Factor polynomials with 2, 3, and 4 terms using a variety of strategies.
Yep, there it is. And by a variety of strategies, it's every strategy you have learned. Ninja Star, Advanced Ninja Star, Factor by grouping, difference of squares, perfect squares. Everything is now being reviewed in this lesson. So where do I begin? The first thing, and always the first thing that you're going to try to do, is to factor out the what? Everyone should be raising their hand. Everyone says, yes, Josie. The GCF, there it is. It's always, always, always our first step. All right, so let's try a few of these. I think it's just example after example. No backside, so it's just 4 examples. Here we go. Example number 1, factor this thing completely. And then we have a ton of problems to do. Look, we have this binomial that we need to factor. We also need to factor this trinomial. We're going to have probably like 5 different binomial linear terms when we're done factoring this thing. Normally we have 2. We're going to have 5. This is going to be gigantic. All right, x squared minus 9. What do you notice? 2 people notice, 3 people notice things, 4 people notice things. Jose, talk to me. Yeah, they can both be square rooted. They're both perfect squares. That's a square and that's a square. Okay, so it's a difference of squares. Difference is coming from the minus sign. A difference of squares factors to what? Someone, fire his hand. I see 1 hand. 2 hands. 3 hands. And you guys will get better and better about this because we're going to be doing this review over and over again. Charles, help us out. There it is, that conjugate pair, x minus 3, x plus 3. If you want to know where those came from, I took the square root, or Charles, I should say, took the square root of x squared to get x. That's where our first term came from. And we took the square root of 9 and got 3. And then 1 has a plus, 1 has a minus. Doesn't matter the order. And we have factored x squared minus 9. We are halfway there. We have done the left-hand side. We need to do this right-hand side. We need to do x squared plus 4x plus 4. So what is the best tool to try to factor that now? Andres?
Isn't it what we did yesterday?
Factor by grouping?
Yes.
Factor by grouping will work on every single problem, yes. So you want to go down the factor by grouping? There's an easier way to do it if you want.
Advanced Ninja.
There's an even easier method. The first one that we ever learned about.
Difference of square.
That's kind of harder, right? What's easier than Advanced Ninja Star?
Just regular.
Regular Ninja Star. Regular Ninja Star will work on this, but why? Who can tell me why? Why?
Because it has a leading coefficient of 1.
Boom, there it is. Yeah, there's no number in front of this x squared. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the Ninja Star for us. Again, you can use factor by grouping. It will work. You can use Advanced Ninja Star. It will work. The easiest thing we can do, though, which is what I want to show you guys, is just your normal Ninja Star. What numbers go where? Fernando, help us out. And? Yeah, this is kind of a straightforward question. Gunner's back. Oh no, I have some by my desk if you get some up here. 4 and 4. Okay, what 2 numbers add to 4 and also multiply to 4? Jenny. 2 and yeah, 2 and 2. Kind of a silly one, which means our answer is what? Another quiet raised hand. How do I actually factor this? I'm gonna write. So I was wrong. It's not 5. It's gonna be 4 of these linear pairs. Wyatt, go for it.
Would be x plus 2 times the quantity of x plus 2.
There it is. So this is one way of writing the answer. You could have written the answer another way. You could have said x minus 3 times x plus 3. I didn't change anything there. But instead of writing x plus 2, I could have written what, Jade? Yeah, x plus 2, that quantity squared. These are both answers. I'll say these are the same. And I don't know why my computer is starting to lag. It's probably Zoom. I'm going to blame you, Zoom. Those are the same. And I'm not pointing to just x plus 2. I'm pointing to like this entire factored problem. Both of those answers will get you 100% on Khan Academy, the quiz, the test, etc. All right. Example number 2. Ooh, we got 4 terms now. What are we going to do? 2 people have hands up. 3 people have hands up. 4 people have hands up. Jose, talk to me. Split it. Yeah, do you remember what that process is called? It's okay. You don't really need to know the name, but it's just kind of nice to know, like to describe what we're doing as a class. No? Can you call on someone that does know it?
Factor by grouping.
Yeah, we're going to make 2 groups. We're going to have this group on the left, group on the right. Perfect. Okay, we split it up. Jose, you want to do the next step too? Yep, x squared is the greatest common factor of these left 2 terms. And you're left over with a 3x plus 4. Okay, someone do the right side as well. Andres.
So it's gonna be -1.
-1 and
And that is gonna turn into positive 3. X plus 4.
yeah, and you got it. I thought that this would really trick you and most people, but you got it. And you do need to factor out a -1. Most people just say factor out the negative, which is okay, but factor out the -1 makes it much easier for the next step. Because if people just factor out the negative, you're correct. But when you do the next step, we're gonna have how many of these 3x plus 4 terms? We have x squared minus 1 of them. You can't just say x squared minus of them, minus 1 of them. So this -1 is super important. You need a number out here. If you just have a 1, say 1. I have -1 of those terms. Good job, Andres. You didn't get tricked. Oh, darn. What are we going to do from here? What? Go for it.
So you're gonna combine the x squared minus 1 into one of the parentheses, and then the other one you're gonna have 3x plus 4 because there's gonna be x squared minus 1 of the 3x plus 4.
There it is. All right. Question, Sergio.
So if you did 1, you needed to do another step.
Yes. Good. I'm really hoping that I'm tricking you guys. You guys are always catching my tricks. We're not done.
We're not.
Yeah, Sergio pointed out there's a 1 right here. We're not done. Who can see what we're supposed to do after this? This can be factored further.
Oh.
Always be careful.
One
One that you probably don't see is the difference of squares 1. Jay, talk to us. How do we do it?
You would write out x minus 1.
X.
and you have it, x plus 1. Times quantity of 3x x.
There it is. And now we're done. A good place to know like you're 100% done is if you have linear terms. Linear is a fancy way of saying the power is 1. If all of these don't have a power or the power is 1, you are definitely done. If you have an x squared, you need to be suspicious and think, ooh, I might be able to factor them. Let's really think. Is it a difference of squares? Are there 3 terms? Is it a trinomial? What's going on here? X squared might mean you can factor further. In this case, you could. In some cases, you can't. And I'll box it. That is our final answer. I didn't box our previous answers because they're both answers, so I guess I could box both of them. It's kind of a waste, but let's go on to example 3. We're halfway done, right? We have 2 more examples. Ooh, they're getting harder and harder, though. All right. Let me scroll so you guys can see in the back over all of these screens. Example number 3. 20x to the power of 6 minus 45x to the power of 4. When you analyze, what do you see? What do you think your first step is going to be here? Jade has her first step ready to go. Andres has his. Jose and Wyatt have theirs ready to go. What is your first step in this scenario? Who have I not heard from in a while? Cohen, I haven't heard from you. Gunnar, haven't heard from you in a while. Sergio, haven't heard from you. Josie, haven't heard from you in a while. I'll give preference to those people that haven't talked as much. I try to call on people as equally as possible. I know I'm not perfect, but I won't force you to. You guys have already participated. We'll give it to Charles again.
So you factor out the PCF, which is 5, x, 4.
I'll label that too for our notes. That's our GCF. Yep. And when we factor that out, what do we have left over, Charles?
We have 4x squared minus 9x. No, 9.
There it is. 4x squared minus 9. All right, yeah, Charles has the correct step. I give him the thumbs up. Good job. I might be done, but I'm not. Again, if I have something squared, you need to be suspicious and say, ooh, I'm not just 2 and x. I probably can go further. In this case, you can definitely go further. All right, Jade, go for it.
5x equals 4.
Minus what?
9? No, 3. Times by 2x plus 3.
You are correct. How'd you get that?
I basically split 4x squared minus 9.
In half?
I know what it's called.
Square root?
Yes.
So you took the square, so if I had 4x squared, you took the square root of that, which is the same thing as the square root of 4 times the square root of x squared, which is, as you clearly showed down here, is 2x. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of x squared is x. And you took the square root of 9 as well. Square root of 9. I'll do the heavy lifting here. Square root of 9 is 3. That's where those numbers came from.
Yeah, I did that.
All right. Hello, Mr. Brown.
Just checking out.
Guest star.
Code stuff.
Do you remember how to factor by grouping, for example, number 4, Mr. Brown? Let's put him on the spot because I remember when I was a new teacher, I totally forgot how to do factor by grouping. We'll put you on the spot, Mr. Brown. Example 4, 4 terms. What are you going to do?
You factor out x from the first 3.
Ooh, let's try it. Let's play around with this because he's using pure logic here. So he's going to factor out, sorry, an x. I have 18x squared plus 27x minus 8. And then that minus 12. So far, so good.
Right. Now we can factor inside the parentheses. Negative. Sorry, I'm brain fart right now.
Yeah, it's okay because I remember my first year teaching, I did not know how to do this either.
In fact, my brain's trying to figure out where I put my screwdriver to place the jigsaw.
Oh no. Okay, someone, Wyatt, tell us what to do.
So Mr. Brown, that was a good idea, but we're factoring by grouping, so we gotta split the problem down the middle, not in half, but down the middle.
Okay.
So then we can factor from the left side and factor from the right side.
Okay.
Factor out the GCF from left side, which would be, would that be 3x squared?
A little bit higher.
Oh yeah, 9x squared.
What's left over when you factor out 9x squared?
2x plus 3.
What about for the right piece?
You gotta factor out negative 2.
Even bigger?
4. So then you're left over with 2x plus 3.
Someone else do the next step. Jade, go for it, Jade.
9x squared minus 4 times the quantity of 2x plus 3.
But.
Ooh.
But not yet.
Oh.
There's a hidden square, so we have to do what I did up there. Find the square root.
Oh yeah, Charles, do that for us.
Square root of 9x squared minus 4 will be 3x plus 2, and then times 20, 3x minus 6.
That's how you do it, Mr.
And.
That's how you do it, Mr. Brown.
There it is.
Placebo, I think is the word. Nope.
You guys are awesome. That's it for the notes. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for guest starring. And you guys now have homework.
No.